Startup Grind Owerri, and we are hosting our very own Uche Delight, founder of Aliconnect. And we're going to be getting to learn a lot with Aliconnect, what do they do, and as well as he's going to be sharing with us a couple stuff. So we're going to have the opportunity to get to ask questions and stuff like that. So if you have questions, just keep them, right? And also for your privacy, okay, yeah, Desmond, I see your message. Your day was cool. Super glad it was cool. So glad to have you here, Desmond Ijara. And so I'm King Henry, chapter director of Startup Gravity. And first of all, for your privacy consent, this call is being recorded so that for as many of us that couldn't get to join could also be able to rewatch. And just in case you learned so much and you love to always revisit, you can also have access to that. So just for you to be aware, the call is being recorded. And here in Startup Grind, what we really do, many of us are into tech, into business. But Startup Grind is a global community, and we're bringing founders, and startup enthusiasts together. So here, as long as you are a member or part of this community, you're going to move way beyond, just writing lines of codes or designing on Figma. Learn to really build um solutions that solves real problem, right? And you learn to work with people. You get your founders, you get your founders. So well, this community is here to help you, provide you with, education, network, connection, virtual events like this that will really help you, know the onions about what it is to have a startup and what it is to actually scale globally. And you're very much welcome. I see a couple of my friends from 3MTT and some other of my communities. I say thank you for joining. You're really going to, learn a lot, and super excited to have you here. So yeah, so feel free. You can just drop some introduction about yourself, your name, what you do, how you got to join this beautiful event in the chat. And you can also share your LinkedIn so that we can all connect with each other. Your LinkedIn, your Twitter, wherever you want people to connect with you, feel free to do. So without further ado, I would love us to say a mighty, 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 mighty warm welcome to our very own, in the person of Delight Uche Oparure. Let me show my hand how I'm clapping. So super glad to have you, Uche. I've known Uche ever since the days at Imo State University, Owerri. He also was a one-time lead for the GDSC IMSU campus, and I think he's still a very core member of the community here in the state of Imo, and he's been doing fantastically well. So without further ado, we're going to leave the floor for Uche. Uche, you have the mic.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Please, I want to ask, is it possible for two persons to use the mic? Can you also make me use my mic in my other device? My laptop, once I'm using my mic with my laptop here, I can't be able to share my video, but I can use my video and my mic on my phone. If you can also give me access to the of my device,
Okay,
I will
okay,
appreciate.
that will be done
Is it
right
possible?
away. Yes, very possible. It's not a challenge. That will be done right away. So
Okay.
check if you can speak there now.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, that's fine. Good evening, everyone. I hope you all have a nice
Good
day
evening.
today. Good evening.
Yes, we
So,
did.
okay. So I've been introducing myself. Uche Delight, a humble self of mine, the CEO and founder of Aliconnect. and I'm also a software engineer. And I love to build solutions that help people out there to have a better system using technology. So today I'll be discussing on a topic I was assigned to, which states unlocking Africa innovation potential. And it has a tagline that says shaping sustainable innovation pipelines across Africa. So I'll be discussing on this, and I wish that this session will be an interactive one where each one of us can feel free to ask questions and also discuss the challenges that we've found us face. I also believe that the people that join this call are those that are also founders like I am. And because I'll be talking more about the founders, I'll be giving more insights to founders, my co-founders too. So it's an honor to have me on this call. Thank you very much, King Henry, for the invite. I really appreciate that. So coming over to Africa, we want to always have this in our mind. Whenever we talk about Africa, the first thing that most people come, or the first thing that comes in most people's mind is that Africa is lacking behind. And in the recent years, it has always been that way. But recently, if you notice, 3 years back to 4 years back, you can notice that Africa starts to rise. Some people have the faith that Africa is rising. And this is because of the innovation that have been built, the things that developers have made possible, founders and young ones have built so many solutions in order to make Africa become a focus on our attention today. So today I want to speak to how about what really means to shape sustainable innovation pipelines across Africa. And I also want to take you through the journey I've faced building my platform, Aliconnect. And I want to highlight real lessons and also share some of my story with you. I don't want this session to be a session where we come here and not say blah blah blah. I also want this session to be a conversation session. So I'll be asking questions and be seeing your answers on the question. Uh, this session will be a session where we'll be discussing about our vision, our challenges, how we apply grit, and what the Africa founders need to know. So let's start with why Africa needs founders like you. Why do Africa needs founders like us? Actually, Africa is a continent and is not a continent that is full of problems, as people say. Either I call it this way that Africa is a continent that is full of potential, waiting to be unlocked by people bold enough to do. And recent years, we have seen this come to true. But our ecosystem is fragile, and which means most of the countries in Africa, more especially Nigeria, even the cities in Nigeria, more especially our city, Imo State, lack infrastructure, funding, and belief. And that is why we founders find it very hard to strive to solve our problems here in the state. But I believe that our problems that we are facing or we are trying to solve using our startup will be the ones to reshape the mindset of many individuals today. And these problems will be the ones to create new jobs and also rejuvenate many communities here in Imo State, especially Owerri. So I'll be starting with the story of how I started building Aliconnect. It all started in 2019. I can remember far back when I sat on my father's dining table. I was there wondering and imagining what vendors and skilled professionals face. Because I have a lot of friends who are very skilled, and I also have people that are doing businesses too. But I also noticed that these vendors and skilled professionals are limited only to their environment. That means their customers are only those that come to their shops, and their clients are only those that come to visit them. I begin to wonder,
Is there not a way where we can build a system that can enable these vendors and skill professionals to scale out their skills out there? Not only a way where people from different locations can reach out to these persons without even coming over to their location. And that was when I made some research and I found out that it's possible for me to build something that can solve this issue. In fact, the name Ali Connect even came out. It wasn't something I thought about. Ali Connect was the name, how it originated was from a friend. He was trying to do this 3D animation class, and I saw the name Ali Connect. I said, "Wow, that name looks nice, and it really fits what I really want to build." That's why I adapted the name Ali Connect and started to build my startup. Building the startup since 2019 has not been an easy one. Uh, it has have taken a lot of effort, a lot of patience, and grit. And some of those things is what we'll be discussing today. So I want to introduce myself. I come from a city here, Imo State. I'm from Imo State, and I also live in Owerri. Over the years, before I become exposed to tech communities and founders communities, it was a struggle for me to build that connect because I lack the knowledge, I lack the tools, I lack the network, and I also lack the access. But the funny part of it is that I never stopped. I never limit myself building. Ali Connect's first website was blog. It was a blog that I first built, and it transitioned from there to a blog e-commerce site, and transitioned to become a Google site before it becomes to what is it now. So I was building with ignorance, with nobody to talk to, nobody to express my view. I just had that burning desire there that there is something that is going to happen if I keep on moving on this journey. And after how many years now, I'm trying to realize that yes, I didn't make a wrong choice not to build and connect. So this simple one idea of mine has taught me a lot of things over the years. One, it taught me how to persevere, how to be patient, taught me the power of grit, and all those mistakes and lessons I've learned have really built me to be more sustainable and keep pushing this forward. I learned how to be adaptable too, because that is one of the fundamental key when it comes to a startup. But always learn how to be adaptable and not being static. So Ali Connect generally is now a platform that bridges the gap between vendors and skill professionals with their respective clients and customers. Now, I want to go back to the second section of what I'll be discussing today, and this involves the hard truth that most founders today face. Sometimes when you see some founders today and you see them making it out there, since that they have a soft landing or they have the support, things were really going out quite well for them. The truth that most of the founders today are actually going through some of the things that you yourself too might be going through if you're a founder, you might get less well with me. One, loneliness. No doubt. Building something where in an environment where you don't have anyone to share your opinion with, you don't have someone to work with, it's quite lonely. So because one, nobody believes your idea. You come out and you tell somebody I'm building Ali Connect does this, does that, does that. Only a few persons will say, oh, what you're building is good. But a lot of persons will just be like, this guy is crazy. He's doing something that will never work. Yeah, that was how I felt all these years, since 2019 to 20 to 21. It was all about being lonely, building on the low key. Now, the second feeling I felt was one, to doubt myself. Is where I call the imposter syndrome to come in. Uh, The imposter syndrome. I want to talk a little bit about that. This is the feeling you have when you think, yeah, you are good, but something inside you is telling you that you don't fit this. You can't solve this. Several times it happens to me. Sometimes I even give up. I'm like, I'm not longer building this. Let me just look for a job and really focus on my education. But most times when I find out that when I keep going forward and making that effort, I was able to overcome that imposter syndrome. I started to believe in what I was building, and it started coming real. Two, you as a founder, in fact, most founders that start from scratch always run out of resources. That is something that some persons today will find out. You will have to work, run out of resources of your time, run out of resources of your money, your energy, and at the end of the day, after 1 or 2 years, you see no result of whatever you have put in, and you feel discouraged. If I should calculate how much we have lost so far from when we started, it has a huge amount of money. But I never really want to put that in mind because I was building for passion and I was making it out there because I believe that whatever I put in today is an investment to the startup, and even though it takes years to come, it's going to pay one day. Another thing I faced is rejection from different people, rejection from investors, rejection from my own users, even my own team. People really reject me. Like, do you have that? Have you feel that feeling where your trusted friends that have been building with you one day and came up and said, "Guy, I should just give up on this and just sell this startup and let them keep on moving forward with their life and do other things meaningful." That's the kind of rejection I faced, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy building without someone that I called my friend that I believe that was with me along this way wasn't there again. So I have to go back to square one. I have to build new teams and rejection from investors too. I met a lot of investors. I pitched to them about my idea. Some will say it's good, but at the early stage they can invest the company. So all those things we are challenges that we face all this. I face all these things. And this is challenges that many vendors in Africa today are also facing, more especially founders, sorry, more especially founders in Imo State. I believe that they are facing this issue. In fact, it was recently when I went out for a meetup, and I found out that we have some of the founders in Imo State. Before I was thinking we are just few, but there was an event I attended last year that was Founders Masters that was hosted by SM First. That when I met a lot of founders, people that are building cool stuff. So we were out there, we were discussing, and we found out that these issues or problem that I'm facing is what most of them are out there facing. And I was quite relieved that I'm not the only one facing this particular kind of issue. But the point here is all this journey, all the issues that we face, all the problems, the hard times, I learned something. And some of these lessons, what I'll be sharing out here today. This is what one, the best founders are not the smartest. That's true. You might not be the best software engineer, you might not be the best and you might not be the best in everything. The best founders are those that keep going on. And over the years, countless times, I saw it popping up. I keep showing up. It was showing up that made us be where we are today. It wasn't about getting the perfect product. It wasn't about getting the perfect team. It wasn't about getting ready. It was just keep showing up. I can remember Jack Ma, one of the saying, he says that nobody believed in him when he was building Alibaba. He was just there, him and his team. But one thing that gets driving him was the belief and trust. He gave himself time to stay so many years. And finally, he got an investor, and that was how Alibaba became one of the best e-commerce companies today. So that was the lesson. The lesson is don't stop. keep showing up. No matter how the result is, not getting feedbacks, not getting reviews, keep showing up. I noticed something that a lot of people are seeing what you're doing. They won't reply to you. But just waiting for that time when it starts to lose well. And they'll be like, yeah, this guy has been doing something. Why people can tell your story is because you never give up telling your story. So maybe it's that way. You have to keep on telling your story by showing up what you do, and you'll see how you get yourself to places that you never believe you get in that particular time. One, you also want to have this idea that if you can't survive the deep, if you can survive the deep, you can become unstoppable. That was another lesson I learned. If you can survive the deep, you can become unstoppable. The statement that I saw from the book I read, if you can survive the deep. Now, what does it mean? If it can be able to crash from the top down, I can be able to go back to square one. I think that can stop me. Because once you go back and you pick to stand up, I think that can stop you anymore. That's great. When we talk about growth, it's the ability of not giving up despite how hard it is. So if you can be able to do that several times, whenever you feel you stand up and keep on making waves, making progress, despite the result that you are getting. Nothing that I learned from my experience building in requires both strategy and stamina. See this that talked about strategy and stamina. It's hard. But the way we are being used, yeah, we are more especially people coming from Nigeria, we are look like we are being looked as criminals. But those people have that use social media to scam a lot of persons. It's hard for us to trust. But how do we put ourselves out there? Despite a lot of persons that different platforms to scam a lot of persons, is by having a strategy. What strategy do you have to go out to the market? What is the start of serving? What's your start of serving? What action plan are you taking? Are you ready to withstand the heat that comes from the government? Are you ready to withstand the heat that comes from the competitors? You must be able to be ready to sell out yourself. And it starts from having a very good name when you go out there. You don't want to start doing things that brings bad reputation to your company or to your startup. Now, I'll be sharing some of the tips of how we founders can strive despite the environment we find ourselves here in Africa, but especially over here. One way we can strive um, as company, a founding company, is to build a community before a capital. We want to make an habit to build a community before we capital. In the recent times, a lot of persons want to have a startup just because to get funding. They find out that okay, if I have a startup, I build a solution, and I push my idea out here, one white man will come and invest in my company and boom, become rich and buy a luxury car, you can buy a house and everything. If that's with your mindset, I'm sorry, it might happen to you. But the problem is you last at the point. An investor can invest in your company and you're not giving returns on his investment. What then happen? The company folds. So we want to first of all learn to build the community before the capital. We want to look at for our market audience.
Sorry,
Who are our
can you hear me?
customers? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
can you hear me?
Sorry to cut you. Yes, your voice, your vocal, I don't know, it's kind of like not that clear. There's this some sort of echo, as if you are where wind is blowing strong. You are losing your voice. Do you have
Can
a
you hear me
fan
now?
by your side?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, just keep talking. Yes, it's better now.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
it's better now. Sorry.
Yes. Thank you.
So I said we want to build a community before seeking out for funding. We want to have clarity over our competitors and then the problem we want to solve. One thing that I've learned so far is when Aliconnect started, I told you it started with the blog. So I wasn't clear of what Aliconnect would be. That's why it took me so long to figure out actually what Aliconnect is going to be and what problem that we are solving. And from the moment I got the clarity of what we are solving and what Aliconnect is, then that was the moment. And I focused my energy on one, getting the right community, two, building the system for this particular individuals I'm solving the problem for, and three, channeling my energy on marketing of this particular kind of individual. So clarity over complicity is very, very important and vital. Remember, keep your solution simple and clear. Just keep your solution simple and clear. That is one important thing you need to have in mind when building up your startup. The third one is to learn to listen. This particular skill have really helped me a lot in my journey as an entrepreneur. Listening. Some of the ideas that were brought into Aliconnect, some of the innovations, some of the things we have integrated so far in our platform, as a result of what people told me. People will come and give you suggestions. Remember, suggestions are of two kinds. Some will tell you, guy, this is not going to work. I remember talking to somebody I felt that would be a mentor to me. And he clearly told me, guy, this Ali connected stuff is not going to work. This is Nigeria. They will frustrate your life. Try building a company outside. Yeah, it was actually right. It was showing concern to me that my startup cannot thrive here in Nigeria because of the situation of the country. But looking out back, I try to understand that who am I solving this issue for? Is it for am I solving this issue for the whites, or am I solving it for Africa? It's for Africa, it's for Nigeria, for people vendors here. So I believe that this is a problem that needs to be solved in Nigeria, and that is why I kept moving on. Listening will also help you to get positive feedbacks. There are some ideas that a startup might have, or you yourself might want to implement, but those ideas are invariable. But when we listen to people, to mentors, listen to some people that gives you good advice, to help you to save yourself from making expensive mistakes. Mistakes are common of like what kind of software you'll be using, the mistakes on what can help your company grow faster, the strategy you can use to sell, and the rest of them. The fourth thing that can help anyone building a startup is having a team. The team is everything. There was a time I was single-handedly um, managing a whole lot of vendors and customers. It was a hit on me. Now imagine you have 100 persons on your team and they really want to get attention from you. It wasn't easy. So I found out that having a team, and not just a team of individuals, but a team of people that understand where the journey is, where you're going to, and really want to do something under that, has really been helpful for me. If you as a founder might have a team, and the first person that should be your team should be your co-founder. That co-founder is the person that sees the vision. Despite if it's hard or if it's okay, the person is there. Finding your co-founder is hard. I'll put it this way. In several years, I've had different co-founders, and finally I got a co-founder. So people are just out there because they believe that okay, if I become a co-founder, this is going to blow today. Don't stay around those that are short-minded, that think that only today is only 1 year is enough for a startup to grow. No, they are going to be the co-founder, someone that is able to stay 10 years with you. Not that 10 years building this stuff. Someone that believe that in the next 10 years, we will see where we're going to be. In the next 5 years, this is where our company will be. In the next 3 years, this is where our company will be. That person is what to be a co-founder. Two, the people you call your teammates. Who do you hire as your team? Sometimes when I started, I believe that hey, anybody that has a good skill is going to become expensive to me. I can't hire those people. I can't hire someone who's a graphic designer. I can't hire someone who's a software engineer. You don't need to have money to do all those things. Once you have those people that have the right focus with you, that have this desired skill, you talk things out with them. If they actually see the vision that you're building, then they can come in. I had a team of software engineers even before we had to hire few persons, a team of these two marketers and the rest of them. And they can be doing a nice job. So having a team, a focused team that sees where you're going, will really help you to build your startup well and face the challenges that you will be facing. A strong team is a strong family. And if your team is not strong, no matter what you build, you will still be having issues. The third one I learned is always build with a trusted technology. Don't take anything by chance. Things can get serious tomorrow. You don't think that, okay, let me just do this way. Don't worry, tomorrow we. No, take things serious. When you build, are you building for tomorrow? Make sure that the system you're building, the software you're using, are something that people can trust, people can validate, and can often use. We know that change is constant, but still, while you build that I'm building in 10 years. I'm building this system that will be used in 5 years. This will help you to use the best softwares to build your products. I remember of sometime when all these scamming sites came out. I was one that asked me to register, and once I went into the platform, I saw the website. The website or the app was even looking so nonchalant. Like none of the function was working. The only function that was working was where to make payments. So I told my friend that this site that you're seeing here, they are scammers. He didn't believe me, saying these people they are validated, they haven't get started with CAC. I said, these sites you are seeing here, they are scammers. They didn't come to stay. Because if they come to stay, whatever they claim that are using to make money to return your investment, it will be clear from the platform. And you see that people will use it. After 2 weeks or so, what I just said, those people scammed a lot of people and went with their money and closed up the platform. So the way you build your startup, the way you build your platform, your app, the way you build your company matters. Solidity over this thing because people are out there to see what they can gain from you. And all these things are built in trust. They are not built in anyhow way of doing things. Because when you yourself as a person is not organized, when you don't have a right structure, a lot of persons will just think that maybe yeah, I'm one of the scammers that came here to scam a lot of people and live with their money. Then the last thing I've learned, and I want founders to always have in mind, this is even something that we are even really working on, is this. Always remember this statement. Be loud about what you are building. I'm a kind of humble and shy person in nature. I don't like making noise with or making waves out there. I just feel like once I have a good stuff, good people can see my good stuff and they'll come. Far, 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 far. It doesn't happen in the startup for village. If you really want to be a good founder and you want to shout out your product, yeah, you have to be loud. It's something I learned from my mentor. My mentor told me one day, he said, that delight, community doesn't pay. It doesn't that you don't it doesn't it's not it doesn't mean that you're not going to be humble, but being humble or being timid doesn't pay. And you have to sell yourself out there. And selling myself means selling my company out there. Being loud isn't about exaggerating yourself or your company or what is not doing. Being loud is always telling people about what you're doing. I went for an event today. I decided just keep quiet and just observe whatever the event is going to be and leave. But at some one point, someone asked me a question in front of everybody. That is anybody that is building something? Is anybody that has a company that wants to talk about? I looked at the audience, it's 100 persons in attendance. And that is a nice opportunity for these 100 persons to know about Aliconnect. I have to volunteer. I said, okay, no, I'm a shy person, I don't want to stay. 100 persons are missing out to know about Aliconnect. So I stood up, I spoke about Aliconnect. And that is a new 100 perspective of customers. So this is the thing here. We have to build out and sell yourself in certain places that you yourself don't need to be prepared about. My first speech, I can remember my first speech. I did it in the school when I was in school in Imo State University. There was this particular alumni event that connected vendors from different locations to come to a place and sell. Why these vendors were interviewed by NTA, and NTA will ask them questions about their products to talk about their businesses. And investors too were there too. That particular day, I was not registered for that event. Someone called me, said, Delight, you know that some social things is happening in him. So I said, okay, I don't know. How do we do that? So I should just come. See, I'm not dressing fine. I'm wearing slippers. How can I pitch with slippers? I said, I should not mind. I just enter. Okay, if I enter, how do I pitch? I don't have a banner with me. I don't have anything to show for my work. So I mustered up courage. I went inside and I told the organizer, please, I want to pitch my business. I don't have a table. So have you paid? I said, I didn't pay. That's okay. You can just give me a table. There's one free table there. Out of my banner, I don't have anything to show up. I said, I don't have. I just remember that there was a time I posted one banner at the front gate. I rushed. I told them, let me go and bring the banner. I rushed, bring the banner, and I was only what I have. But that day, after pitching to those investors and NTA that particular day, people loved the idea. In fact, that day alone, we onboarded over 100 vendors. It was surprising. So you don't need to get prepared to speak about it with the startup. You don't need to wear a suit to do it. The reason why people don't sell their products is because they are not out there always seeking to get people know about them. Nobody is God. It's only God that knows what is in our mind. But what we tell people is what they believe, and that is what people know about you. So you have to speak out. That's one of the things I learned over the years that really helped me to increase my sales and the customer base that we have today. So we are getting over to what we can do um, to order to build this ecosystem that founders are doing. I just have 4 tips I wrote down. These 4 tips is something that we can use as we build forward. One is think long term. We want to have that mindset, the growth mindset of thinking long term. At our startup, if we start today, it might work or it might start becoming popular in the next 5 years. That should be our mindset. It doesn't mean that in between that 5 years, that our startup can be built today and the next year becomes what is it. It doesn't mean that we can't make money in that days. No. But thinking long term gives you the space to breathe. You're a human too. And we all humans want to uh, have that realization of mind. It is true that when you start from nothing, it might be very difficult for you to breathe. Let me say it that way because you want things because you want things to happen the way you planned it to happen. But actually, that's not really what happens sometimes. Your expectations might fail. So think long term. So when it keeps failing, you believe that okay, 5 years is not yet. The next 5 years is going to work. But this will help you to maintain perseverance and you have that growth mindset and also back it up with grit. Two, have a team that supports each other. I talk about this a lot. A team. Um, 35% of growth of Aliconnect came from when I have the right team. A team that sees the vision, a team that builds together, a team that is ready to do whatever it takes, no matter the time, to make things work. Last year, we traveled different states to pitch our ideas in different startups. I was not present that last year, but I have a strong team that whenever I make a phone call, see, we have this, and they are ready to move. So that was it. Having a good and rightful team, but especially I've talked about having the right co-founder. will help you to build startup or whatever startup you have. And this team will help you to be able to endure that long term that you're thinking about. Then the other one I also want to, another thing I also pin down that we can apply as we move forward is to always reflect. Reflect on your journey. As I said, what Aliconnect was 2019 is not what Aliconnect is 2025. You can count it 2019 to 20 to 21 to 23 to 25. It's quite a journey. And each year I have a goal, and that goal is don't remain what you are last year. That was my goal. I didn't care about whether we had the money. I didn't care about whether we are making the millions. My main aim was not being what we are last year. So when you always reflect on how you started and reflect on what you are now, you have that mindset to keep going. That no matter how long it takes, you're going to get you are closer to your goal. That's the truth. No matter how long it takes, you're closer to your goal. At the time, I was very worried of how are they going to get its first customers. At the time, I was very worried of how are they going to get its users, how to onboard the 1,000 users, how to onboard the 500 users. But all those things are not worries now because I kept going. So have that in mind. Reflection, appreciation, and gratitude are very important characters that a founder needs to build. This will really help you to appreciate whatever you have so far or whatever you have built so far. Then another thing is collaborate over compete. A lot of people today want to be competing companies that are built for 10 years. I cannot just come and say, okay, see Alibaba now, Alibaba is who I'm chasing. Let me chase Alibaba. Ah, Alibaba have been there for so many years. They have seen so many challenges that I myself have not seen. They have done a lot of partnership that I myself have not done. So me chasing over them is unrealistic. I may beat them in the next 10 years. Facts being known because technology changes. AI and the rest of things changes too. And the world we are living is fast. The change is fast when it comes to tech. So I can build a software that can beat my competitors. But I don't make them my main focus. Either I collaborate and learn from their mistakes. Now, when we talk about collaboration, also involves being honest with yourself to streamline processes. Not everything that you want to do, you will do at the moment. When we talk about logistics, Aliconnect has a system where our logistics is being handled by GIG. We don't have a physical logistics that we offer. Before we are using the local logistics, but now we are partnering with GIG reasonably because GIG handles the logistics and we are fine with it for the moment until further notice. When it comes to payment integrator services, we don't want to start having our own payment methods or building a system where people use our platform to pay. No, we partner with and collaborate with other tools, collaboration, partnership, including events that we have hosted, are very vital things that we can help to build up our startup. Remember, we call this a startup, a founding company. And one of the important things that can make any startup go where you want to go, even though not vital things, is funding. We don't have all the funding and we want to make waves. So making waves means we need to partner with a lot of persons. The event we hosted last year for our vendors, we are not the one that hosted the event. We collaborated with the event hoster, Toolbox, and Toolbox helped us to provide a platform where vendors can come and learn about businesses. And grant was also given out. I believe, yeah, I think one of the vendors in Aliconnect were one of them that won the grant. So this is what this is when it comes to collaboration and partnership. So you don't need to do everything on your own because when we talk about funding, a lot of things that join our mind. And when those things start to join our minds, remember what I said, the imposter syndrome will come in and you feel like you're not worth it. But actually, because you're taking a lot of things down to your head. So It's a quite lesson there with us, and there are a few things that I've encountered and the lessons that I've learned building Aliconnect. Before I conclude so far, I would like to share about Aliconnect, what we do, and the solutions that we solve. So when we talk about Aliconnect, if you can see my slide, I said Aliconnect is an innovative multi-vendor marketplace designed to empower business, skilled professionals, and customers by connecting them on a seamless digital platform. And our goal is to create an inclusive ecosystem where vendors can showcase their products, skilled professionals can find new opportunities, and customers can access a wide range of quality goods and services. Then, who is Ali Connect for? Or what are the challenges that we see first before who Ali Connect for? Yes, Ali Connect is for vendors and skilled professionals, as I said earlier. And the challenges that vendors face is one is difficulty to reaching a larger audience, limited sales, and growth barrier. So this is what the challenges Ali Connect face and vendors face, sorry. So this is where Ali Connect comes in to solve those problems. I'll just say, imagine um, a vendor that is in selling food items, and the customers that he or she has is only limited to our environment. Now, if those customers have to travel or change an environment, which means that this vendor have lose some of our customers and she have lose money. So if this vendor is eventually online, you think that the best vendor can lose their customers? No, the customer just have to just reach out online and she supplies to the customer. But this is the problem that Ali Connect is trying to solve. When we talk to limited sales and growth barrier, we want to make sure that everybody, more especially the local business owners, will be able to scale out there online using a professional dashboard. Then when we talk about for the skill professionals today lack visibility. Now, when we talk about skill professionals, we know tech individuals are involved, but apart from them, we are talking about local skills acquired professionals. We have the hairdressers, we have the barbers, the mechanic. That doesn't seem so when your car spoiled in the road and you are in Abia State and your mechanic is in Imo State and you want to contact your mechanic. There is no possibility that your mechanic will travel from Imo State to Abia State. But imagine you having a tool in your hand and you can just search for mechanics around your location. This will be very, very easy for you to fix your car. That is the problem when they connect this and you want to solve. Then another one is inconsistent income. Skill professionals face a lot of issues, unlike business issues, under business vendors. The business vendors have a fixed price for its product, but skill professionals just have limited price. Their pricing are unsteady. Today they price them 20 naira, today tomorrow they price them 50 naira. And most of them don't know their worth. You can see someone laboring so hard but being paid a penny for a job that he needs to earn more high. So Connect comes in to negotiate prices with customers, with clients, and able to help these skill professionals optimize their client commissions and get a good amount when it comes to payment. So we solve these issues and we empower growth too. So we also use different methods in order to help these vendors and skill professionals. One of them is our marketplace. This marketplace is for vendors, and we help vendors showcase and sell their products in a wider audience. The second is the talent hub, and this talent hub is for skill professionals that connects clients and plan consistent gigs. Then we also have an AI-powered assistant named Alencia. Alencia is used to enhance customer engagement and sales too. Then we also encourage localized support for cultural and regional needs. So why Ali Connect? What makes us different? If I talk about different platforms that are solving these issues, why is Ali Connect different? When we talk about personalized tool for vendors and skill professionals to succeed, then we talk about our AI-driven analytics to help track process and improve visibility. Then we also talk about seamless integration of e-commerce and talent networking and second end-to-end payment integration and verified talented skilled professionals and vendors. So we don't just pick anybody randomly. Our vendors and professionals are verified, and we have a means of verifying the identity, and also we provide even blockchain payment integration gateway to enable those who are also in the crypto world to make sales too. So for more information, you can visit our website at the if you're a vendor and you wish to add um, account, you can also do this. And you can send the code to me and also join our community. Very. Thank you very much. Lastly, we have a review form where you can help us improve. Just fill the survey form by scanning the link here, please. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So I'm open for questions. If you have questions you want to ask, let me know.
Going to be asking him questions and stuff. Well, from his presentation, I think he's literally even it's as though he knew all my questions beforehand. He has literally gone through all the processes and literally answered everything without me even having a question. So yeah, thank you so much, sir. It's so exciting to get to have you as always. So most likely we may even get to have this again. To be a situation where I know that okay, this time around, um, I'm going to be asking, I'm going to be asking I'm going to be asking questions, so it's going to be a proper fireside chat. Thank you so much for this fantastic and magnificent presentation. Really, really appreciate. So, does anybody have a question? If you have a question, you can just raise your hand so that I'm going to grant you access and opportunity for you to be able to ask a question, or you can type it in the chat box. So we're just going to spend just a few minutes doing that, just a few minutes doing that. If you have questions, maybe in and you're building and you have some things that you love to ask and stuff like that. You feel free to type it in the chat. So I'm just going to give like a minute. Is there any help? Okay, so I think it would be safe to assume that this was well, digested and understood, and there's really no need for questions at the moment. So not to worry, this call is also being recorded, so especially for those that were not able to join us today. Um, the link would be shared in our community. You can also reach out to them to. Okay, Anazie said is building. That's fantastic. Anazie, do you care to share what you're building? the recorded session will be, shared in the community, and we can all, get to, as always, go through it and learn as more and more as possible, right? So, okay, so thank you so much once again, Delight. Really, really appreciate you. It's such a beautiful privilege to get to have you with us. So just one last thing. I don't know if you could like share final words of encouragement, you know, for young change makers just like us, right? That are trying to build magnificent solutions, from the city of Owerri here, despite prevailing challenges, right? What are what are the advices you can get to share? What final words, give us those final words of encouragement as we use that to wrap up today. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, I will say all founders who are doing that don't look at your success as something that is small. Believe in the
So
dream that you
we
want to
can't really hear you clear. Oh. Your voice is
Can you hear me now?
no, it's not still clear enough.
Is it better now? Is it better now?
Yes, yes, it's manageable now. Go ahead.
Sorry, my name is not clear. So as a founder that are in this world, I want you to always believe in whatever you're building. Have in mind that everything that is being worked on is going to pay off one day. Already has a potential. There was a time that one of the founders talked about Lagos being the state where people didn't look about. And after several years ago, what happened? We can see that Lagos is one of the hottest cities where a lot of founders are being found from there. The same innovation is going to happen here in Owerri. They are coming in gradually by gradually. So keep building. Always be ready so that whenever they comes in, they found you worthy, then you're waiting to when they come before you start to build. So keep building. I also want to give a small advice to our founders who are building from nowhere, from scratch. While you build, also find something to do to keep you going. And that thing can be a job. It's a job that can sustain your needs for the moment. Most founders have this idea that whenever they have a startup, that startup is going to feed you. Shockingly, surprisingly, at some point, you might be disappointed. But having something to do, a side hustle, a job, will keep you to a peace of mind, and you also give it that chance to build quietly and also focus on the long term. So that's it. I don't know. Can you hear me? I can't hear you anymore.
So sorry. Thank you. My mic was muted. So yeah, and I was already getting in. So talking for almost. So I was clapping. I said those are really, really fantastic final thoughts. Thank you so very much, Delight. Really super excited to get to host you once again. And those are really, really deep, right? Honestly, truthfully, a lot of you know lots of opportunities are being uh, gradually and coming into the state of Imo internationally, locally. So it's very, very important, imperative that you're building, so that when the opportunity comes, you'll be able to recognize it, and you'd be able to be worthy, right? And you'll be able to be qualified for it, because when the opportunity comes shouldn't be when you be trying to build something. It might not it might be too late. So try now, start now, and keep thriving. And by God's grace, we're all going to build and scale from here in our beloved city of Owerri to actually even the global market, Silicon Valley, and the rest of that. So thank you so much once again. It was super exciting getting to have and connect with you all. Delight, Anos here, Anita. I'm so glad that I got to have you all. I hope I'm not missing anybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Desmond, right? So um and I really do hope you get to learn a lot. So this is Startup Grind. This is what we do. We're connecting founders. We are all joining in, trying to do a couple stuff. So how can we inspire each other? How can we share opportunities amongst ourselves? And to also announce next month we'll be having like a Founders Connect, right? We'll be having a really exciting Founders Connect next month, and it's going to be physical. Super excited that we're going to be shifting away from virtual events to something physical. I'm super excited to that we're going to be testing it for the very first time. So design will be out very soon, and feel free to come around. We get to talk about our challenges, and we'd always try at least there should be a bowl of water around, to quench our thirst as we talk. So yeah, thank you so much once again. It's super exciting to get to have you all. And thank you once again, Delight. It was such a magnificent session with you, and we're so happy that you're part of our community. And honestly, super excited that we're going to all meet at the top. So thank you so much for your time and your day. I really hope we have a fantastic day ahead. Bye.